Okay, so we are live. Sorry for being late for 20 minutes, but we are here. All right, we're gonna play the countdown really quick, and we'll be right back. Oopsie, there we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our stream. We are so sorry that we're late. We had some location difficulties,
Yes.
and then we forgot.
We had a mini catch-up session along with
A little girlfriend chat, yeah, and so then that happened. So okay, so we're here. Welcome to another Crafty Mess, where we talk about the messiness that's happening in pop culture, social media, and all that fun stuff while we craft and chat as girlfriends.
Yeah, and whatever we talk about here, please do not harass other people. This is more about like just conversations, thoughts that we want to put out there and see if everyone comes to the same conclusion as we do. But this is just more of a B and Stitch.
Pretty much kind of BNS. BNS, yeah. What are you doing? You're working on?
I'm still working. I'm like this is the scarf that I've been working on before, but I kind of put it on pause since we were on pause.
We were on pause, yeah.
So yeah. So now I'm back to trying to finish it, but I don't know. It's kind of just casual crocheting my scarf.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it last week where we're going to try to do every other week now because KL's school schedule is getting kind of crazy. And it'll give us a chance to like maybe prep a little bit better for some of our craft stuff. And for me, I'm making little not popsicle, cupcake toppers because Grudy's birthday party is coming up in 2 weeks. And it's so it's Belle themed.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Okay, so her invitations, like I went a little bit extra on it. I made it's like a trifold invitation. So when you open it up, it says like, her birthday. And there's like, it said be my guest and like where the birthday party is gonna be. And then there's like a QR code where the parents can scan to take her to like a little site to RSVP.
Is she gonna have her Belle dress?
Yeah, she's gonna have her Belle dress, but I'm thinking about getting or making her kind of like a Belle like gymnastics outfit because it's gonna be at a gymnastic gym.
That's cute.
Yeah, so all the kids can kind of like get some of their energy out because like if you have it at your house, it's like there's nothing they can do. So so I'll probably do that, but that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to make all the cupcake toppers for it because I didn't want to buy it.
That's cute.
So yeah, that's what we're doing here, and then maybe some goodie bags for her friends during for school because that's coming up. And I didn't realize this, but I am not the only mom who's very into goodie bags because when Halloween rolled around, like I got a bunch of other goodie bags from other moms, and I'm like, oh, I'm competing with some intense pre-K. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's always nice to have more than one like helpful like room moms, So
totally.
But yeah, anyways, let's talk about some of the stories that we have going on this week. Let's see. So we can talk about relationship stories. So the first one would have to be Taylor Swift, her new music video, her old new music video, All Too Well, where it's like the extended version of All Too Well.
Version.
Did you watch it?
I saw it, and I also loved the music, the 10-minute version. I didn't even think. Like, it didn't feel like 10 minutes, which is bizarre. No. But the fact is, like, she originally when she had written out the lyrics, it was about 10 minutes long, but they said that no one's going to listen to a 10-minute version. And so she never released it until now.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, I'm glad that they didn't let her release it then.
Yep.
Because now they own the rights to the...
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And she is probably the smartest artist I've I don't think I'm like a huge Swiftie fan, but I was still a fan, you know what I mean? Like not diehard. And I was still a fan only because like she has shown to me a lot of her characters, just like the way that she, stands up for herself, and she doesn't let any bully like back, bring her down, and she kills with lyrics. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's just great, and and she's so kind as well. She's a cat mom, so
The mom,
you can't go wrong with that, honestly.
I think if we had to pick like an epitome of like someone who is empowering with good girl power
Correct.
ethics, I think Taylor Swift is a really good representation of that.
I think so.
Yeah, because she has girlfriends. Like, when you see women who are like, I'm empowering women, I'm a feminist, blah, blah, but they don't have any girlfriends, and you're just kind of like, I question that a little bit. And I used to be one of those where I was just kind of like, I'm the cool girl. I don't need to have girlfriends. And then as I got older, I realized the reason why I didn't have girlfriends is because I was so insecure to be around other women that I didn't have girlfriends, and I was afraid to like seem weak or whatever. But then when I realized that, dude, I do want to have girlfriends. Like, I would love to have girlfriends. I'd love to be able to chat about boys and stuff. Like, that's not silly or stupid or girly or whatever. Like, it's fun, right?
Yes.
And when I started...
we've said this before, too. It's almost like if you, like, I wouldn't say moms are the best people to go and talk about personal things that's happening in your life, like private things that I would never talk to my mom about. So yes, that's where your girlfriends come in, and I'm very fortunate to have like close girlfriends that I have that type of relationship with.
Yeah, and I think, when I was like a kid, like I had a couple like very young, and it was just like a bad experience kind of situation. And then as I went to my teens, I went through that like, emo, I'm too cool to have girlfriends, like kind of whatever. And it was annoying and cringy, and but then as I got older and I actually have girlfriends like you and Angela and stuff, and it's just like my life is so much more rich, right? And I think, and that's the thing with Taylor, is that she has like, girlfriends, and she also like, she the whole lawsuit where she tried to get like $1 from that sexual harassment suit, like it wasn't even about getting the money. It was about making a statement that you can't just touch a girl and not have repercussions. Like, she really does, and it's not performative. A lot of it is really from the heart. Like, she even donated to Kesha's legal.
Really?
So do you remember Kesha went through like a whole legal battle with her ex producer and management, and she needed some and she like didn't own any rights to any of her music, and she was sexually abused as well. And and it took Kesha a really long time to get back up, because in 2010 she had that song for Project Runway, and it went really well, and then she kind of disappeared for a while, and it was because of all of that. Like, she didn't want to make music if she was going to own it. So Taylor Swift privately like gave her like $500,000, didn't even mention it, but someone else found out and tweeted it and was just like, this is awesome that Taylor did that. But of course Demi Lovato came in and was just like, oh, well, if you're gonna like support domestic violence and blah blah blah, then do more than with money. I'm like, Demi, you're being a hater. She's showing her true colors as to her being a hater. But so the music video, I think, is awesome. I think the whole re-release of Red is also awesome. It's probably one of my favorite albums, actually. I think, okay, so the funny thing is that
apparently it's not one of her like top sellers.
Yeah,
so the fact that she re-released it and it's becoming like zooming to the top and breaking all sorts of records is amazing. It just shows what kind of artist she is.
Yeah,
that she has clout, and she's not. She's she can do her own label if she wants, which is what she's probably doing.
Do you remember the whole Kanye thing too, when he like went up stage? And I watched some of the interviews afterwards, and they kept asking her, they're like, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? She's just like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to, be grateful for whatever. And then, Beyonce came up and gave her the mic. And she's like, Taylor.
Yeah, they wanted to like have some type of drama coming from it.
Yeah, and she was so young. She was like 17. She handled it so well. Yeah. But I think it's so funny because, the All Too Well music video is about Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal. So that's the thing. It's like when you see two of your favorite people kind of like going like, what like he's a really amazing actor and I'm a fan of him and I don't know what goes on behind their relationship. It's none of my business. But I thought it was so funny because I went to his Instagram and I was just like, dude, I want to see like if he like posted a story or an image or something, just like addressing it. And he hasn't, right? Because like at this moment, it's about his sister producing like a new show. And I think he wants to just have the attention go to that show instead of like on him. But you read the comment section and a lot of it was like, dude, is it true? Do you still have her scarf? And it just cracks me up. And like everyone is like, and some of people are like, bro, are you okay? Do you need to talk? I'm here for you. And I think, which is a sentiment to how you can tell that like the way Jake holds himself is how his fans also react to. And the fact that they can be kind of silly about it as well and not be like, yo, what is wrong with you? Like, I am canceling you and things like that and kind of like joke about it. I think like to me that kind of lightened up my heart because I was like, oh no, it's going to be, a complete show with him. And, they both haven't came out to say anything about it. But there was one interview where he said he did listen to the song a couple of years back. And he's like, someone asked me, she's like, how do you feel about having a song like this written about you? And he said, it's like having a photo album and going back and just looking at the memories. And he's just like, and it's a song and I think it's well written and it's just, a nice memory lane kind of thing. So,
and see, and the thing about like, how, I mean, Taylor Swift is just very good about, like you said, empowering women and all that stuff. And whenever she is in those interviews and talking about, how do you like, how do you feel about those comments about, like, and any ex that dates you, they're going to be like, oh, there's going to be a whole album written of me, right? And then Taylor Swift comes back with like, you don't ask that question to guys, right? They like, there's a lot of male artists who write stuff about their breakups and all that stuff. Like, where are those questions, or like, the different words that, that are associated to men and women. For example, a woman is aggressive, whereas a man is a go-getter. You know what I mean? Like those kind of things. And it's like a very double standards, which I absolutely hate.
Well, it's the same with like, when a girl is obsessed with a guy, right? Like she's obsessive or she's clingy or whatever. And when a guy does it, like, and you call him a stalker, she's like, whoa, don't call him a stalker. She's just like into, like, people get so offended when you call a man a stalker, and it's like.
Should that be a good segue into you?
What? About what?
The Netflix
yeah. It just happened. It just happened. Literally.
What, me? No, not me.
Wait, what, me? I literally just happened.
So Penn Badgley.
Now I get it.
Penn Badgley is the main, star of the show, and he was obviously from Gossip Girl. And the fact is, he actually saw that Fox bit, which I don't know if you guys saw it, but he actually thinks that it was a bit because no one. I mean, I think Fox, news, like the people on there are not the most smartest crayon in the box or whatever, but like. He thinks it was a bit, but it was hilarious, and it took the TikTok and the internet by storm, which he could not figure out that he was the other guy that she was interviewing was talking about the show Netflix. Her. And this just happened just now.
It literally just happened. It in real time.
I know
that cracked me up. So yeah, I had no idea, but I can understand why now. Like it just came out of nowhere, and I'm like, wait, me? What? What are you talking about?
Yeah, show about me.
Yeah. So what was the back? Okay, so basically, if we backtrack, it was they were talking about like vaccinations or something.
But no, they were talking about like, yes, probably vaccination. And then he led to like, so it's like about the measles vaccine, the measles on you. And
Yeah.
she was like, "What are you talking about? I've never had the measles. I've never like,
Yeah.
wait, what are you talking about? We've never had a segment about vaccination." Like, it just kept talking. I was like, about you, and like he just kept drawing on and on, and I just feel like maybe it was a bit because it was only towards the last like 2 minutes where he says, "It's the show you," and then and she's just like, "There's a show about me. There's a show about or something," and he was just like, "Forget it. Let's move on."
I wonder if it was staged too, but at the same time, like I feel like sometimes Fox they can take themselves a little bit too seriously.
Yeah.
And she was just like, what are you? And it backfired where like she was trying to be too serious about it, and it backfired, and turns out it was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But
it was
I thought
hilarious though.
I saw that and I was just like, what in the world? And it cracked me up. I do like you though. I think that's
Did you watch
Ken
that?
Yeah. I saw all 3 seasons now. 1, 2, and 3. Yeah.
I just finished season 1. I finished season 1, and I'm just like, it was greatly done. And did you hear the fact that it used to be on Lifetime, and it didn't really get like the best of reviews, but it wasn't until season 2 where Netflix picked it up, and then had the season 3 release on Netflix. And it was because Lifetime had like crappy marketing
they do.
it, but then Netflix did it. Yeah, and Netflix did it in a way that it was very audience, capturing, and like everyone was very intrigued about this. So, yeah, it totally that totally worked, and that's why there was so many people talking about it now. Which it started like in 2018 or something. Nobody heard of it until Netflix picked it up.
I mean, I watched it like. I think I watched it when it first came out. Yeah, back to back. And I started watching it in 2018 because that's when I really got into true crime stuff.
Yeah.
And this whole stalking thing was a little true crimey, and it's kind of, the whole psychology of how Joe became the way he is and stuff. So, but it wasn't like, it wasn't. And I think what happened was because it came out the same time all like other popular shows were coming out as well, and so I'm wondering if that might be the case. But I do like the show. The season 3 is a little bit more cheeky, because it's it's a little more cheeky. Season 2, it's very LA vibes. Season 1 is very New York vibes, but season 3 is very I like it a little bit more, but it's good, and I think it's funny to see it on Fox. Just keep up with it; you'll like it.
I totally do enjoy it, but it does give me a sort of that vibe in terms of like, oh, do I really want to enjoy this? Because it's very stalkerish, and I don't really like that part of it. But I guess it's a story, so it's not.
It just it unfolds a lot of things because it is, yes, like Joe is very much a stalker and he's problematic in his own ways, but Beck, like you can see her past starts to unfold and why she's the way she is. And I think it's interesting because like when you think about like character tropes and stuff, like if you have a stalker, then the girl is also like this perfect girl next door, but then you realize that, well, maybe she's not so perfect at all. And in his eyes, you can see how his mentality starts to shift when he starts to realize who she is. And I don't know, it's a little deeper, but it is a little kind of like surface and there's sometimes they throw jokes in there that's kind of fun, but I don't know. I definitely enjoyed season 3 a little bit more though. It gets season 3. It's so funny. It's they start to.
I plan to finish it all.
Yeah. Get to season 3 and tell me what you think.
We're both on this. Yeah, it's funny that we're both on the show, but then also Dexter came back on the show.
Oh yeah,
back on that. You know what I mean? I obviously had to like subscribe to the show for the month or 2 that it's gonna be around.
Yeah, let me
But
know
yeah,
what you
like
think of it, and let me
just
know if it's
fascinating.
worth it.
I will. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will.
because I
I will let
haven't
you know.
committed it
But
to it
yeah, it's
yet.
current.
Yeah.
And then Sex and City is coming next month. Like everything is coming.
Yes, the Sex and the City thing is going to be a little bit hard for me because I don't know how I feel about not having Samantha there.
I know. I don't know how the story is gonna be like.
Yeah. So we'll see because Samantha kind of makes the show a little bit. She's an interesting character.
Yeah, I have a feeling that they might say something like that. Maybe her cancer came back, or
Oh,
maybe
that's
she moved on, or maybe she moved on like indefinitely somewhere where she couldn't come back, which is kind of that. I don't think that story is likely because like everyone's a plane ride away,
yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, and she's a PR powerhouse, so there's no
yeah,
reason she can't. Yeah, I mean, she's been flying back constantly for like the last season when she lived in LA with her hottie patati
right,
boyfriend. So,
right.
yeah, yeah. Well, we'll
Who
see.
I also saw in a Showtime Skinamax show called was it Swingers? Oh no, Palm Beach, and it was
Oh,
talking about
really?
swinging, and he was one of the swinging couple. Because I'm like thinking that guy looks very familiar.
Oh, really?
I guess
I
he likes
don't
to
watch
have his
a.
shirt off. I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah, he's a good-looking dude. I've never actually like gotten to Showtime shows. Maybe I should. Well, or maybe I have, but it always just
Yeah,
goes to Netflix.
yeah.
Maybe I
Dexter,
have.
obviously.
Yeah, Dex. Well, I thought Dexter was HBO.
No, Dexter was totally Showtime. They had to find a show to really get Showtime on the map because it wasn't ever, like that. So Dexter was one that definitely carried it, and then there was
Mm-hmm.
another show on there. I forget which one. That put it on the map because they really needed a good show on there.
Mm. Hmm.
No,
Okay. Well, I
HBO
got this.
Max or HBO has Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I should put those down as my next watch list of stuff. But you was good. Um.
Yeah.
Let's
And I'm
see.
slowly
What's.
trying to finish Squid Game. So
Oh,
that's
you still haven't
that's
finished it yet?
I haven't because I've been waiting for Tony and
Ah,
the
gotcha.
kids to watch it with me, but they've been like at least a little one episode ahead, so now I have to catch up.
Ah.
But I watched episode
Mm-hmm.
7 last night with them, so we have 2 more episodes. But I already know the ending because of TikTok. So,
Yeah.
well, I know
Yeah.
the not the ending, but I know like the what was
The
going
the
on.
the plot twist or whatever, right?
Yeah, the plot twist. I know that. So yeah.
Yeah. Um I have been, I mean the new one that I'm on is Tiger King, the second season.
No. Why?
Yeah. Yeah, the
I
second
didn't
season
watch
of
the first
Tiger.
one. I didn't watch the first one.
Yeah, it's the second one's a little, it's a documentary, right? So um it's just interesting because now I'm starting to think Carol Baskin actually did kill her husband. So it's just
Dang.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. Because at first I was just
Rumors,
like,
the
maybe,
rumors.
yeah. I was like, maybe not. But now maybe, I don't know. But apparently that Don guy is a pretty disgusting man too. So even if he was gone, like I feel sad for his family, but he was also kind of like a
Oh.
PEDO. So apparently some of that stuff came out. But anyways, hi Katrina, welcome for joining us. We completely ignored you for a little bit there when you popped in. Um,
We just went down.
yeah. Okay, so
There was something else on our list.
Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, their
Yeah.
breakup. Okay, so I think they're so cute together, right? And when I saw them together, I was just like, perfect little couple because they're both very like
What was
family oriented. Hmm?
okay. And we don't
Shawn,
know yet why there was a breakup. How long were they
no,
dating?
they were together for about 2 years, and it was such a big thing because all the fans were like so into it. So a lot of his music when he first started writing it was inspired by her, like, you know, all of his love songs and stuff. Yeah, and it's so sweet.
What
and
was
people
their
just like,
what was their couple name?
they didn't have a couple name. Yeah. But I mean, everyone.
I'm amazed that didn't come out.
Yeah, I don't think they have a couple name. I don't think so. Yeah, because they're both like, you know, really well known artists, and Sean came from YouTube, and you know, Tamia came from Fifth Harmony, um, and so, and then, you know, obviously all the fans are freaking out. They're just like, oh my gosh, they're all broken up, blah blah blah, and things like that. But I think the main thing is like, there's a lot of people who are like, well, you know, of course they did because Sean is gay, and I.
Hold on a sec. I have the door closed, and then Whiskey, I see her paws underneath the door trying to get it. So I was like, I'll let you guys in.
I had to kick the other guy out because I was just like,
I know.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't want you around all this stuff because then I would have to sanitize it all and stuff before I use it for the cupcakes. You know? Yeah. So
now she's playing with my head. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, like, you know, people are like, oh, we're not even surprised because Sean's probably gay, and he's gone on multiple interviews and he's just like, look, like, I'm not gay, but like the more he defends it, the more, you know, people think he's gay. And then he's also like, but then if I defend it too hard, then people think I'm like homophobic. Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, why does it matter? If he is, then let him come out on his own time. If he's not, yeah, I'm like, just who cares? People break up.
It's not up to you, right? It's not up to someone to like out another person. Like, it's not your job.
Yeah, and they're celebrities. I mean, like, if it was a PR relationship, fine, let it be a PR relationship. Who cares? If he is, then who cares? If he's not, then who cares? Like, you know, it's a couple, they're young, they got together, and then now they're ready to move on. Like, it doesn't have to be anything bigger than that, you know?
Yeah.
He did date Hailey Baldwin for a little bit. Or Hailey. Sorry, Hailey Baldwin. Hailey Baldwin, Justin Bieber's wife.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
Yeah. She and Justin Bieber were together. It's Hailey Bieber now. But she's Alec Baldwin's older brother's daughter. So Alec Baldwin's niece.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, Sean dated her for a little bit, and it was in between her breaking up with Justin. But anyways, it's a whole thing. I just think, you know, celebrity couples, like, you know, they have relationships, they break up, and then we move on. Like, it doesn't have to be bigger than that. You know, if Camila wants to write a song about it, she'll write a song about it. If Sean writes a song about it, he'll write a song about it. Like, you know, but, you know, to try to force someone to
actually. Yeah, I know. And it's bad to say, but that is actually part of like my little thing where, like, I don't like drama, you know, but I do like to know why certain people break up, you know what I mean? Like, what was it behind, you know, all that.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, like, of course, you know, like, that's why we have
in depth.
Yeah, I think it's one thing. That's what we have this show, is that we talk about this stuff. Like, it was like, oh, yeah, they broke up. Well, that sucks. And why they broke up, kind of like Jennifer and Ben Affleck, they're together now and stuff like that. But, like, to push a narrative about someone's sexuality, I think that's going a little too far. Like,
yeah.
That's you know, like, okay, why did they break up? Oh, okay, that sucks. Was it a PR set? Ooh, that's Hollywood, right? And then we move on. It's not. But, like, if the guy comes out and he's like, I am not gay, then believe him. You know, like, okay, let's see who they date next, and then we move on. I'm kind of just bummed out because I thought they were such a cute couple, you know. And
yeah, but I don't give a lot of it doesn't, I mean, it's just, I don't have a lot of confidence in a lot of celebrity relationships. You know, to me, it's just, I haven't seen one except for like maybe Goldie Hawn and what's the other guy's name?
Kurt Russell. And they're not married. They're not married.
Although they have talked about getting married, but I honestly don't give a lot of credence to a lot of these relationships because they're just never, you know, especially with them being so young and everything. Like, I was just exactly. It wasn't a surprise to me. I was like, yeah, okay, they broke up. Move on. What else is new?
I mean, like Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, they had their little thing for a little bit there, and
so are they officially done?
No, they're still together.
Okay, so they're still doing the open marriage thing.
They've never been in open marriage.
Oh, I thought they were.
Nope, they never were. It was just something that was going around, but they never were. Actually, Jada cheated on Will Smith.
Oh.
Yeah, she cheated on him with her son's friend.
That's effed up.
Yeah, and I mean, you heard about it, right? Like when she did the round
table
table
talk. They're still together?
Yep, they're still together. They did the round table talk, and she called it an entanglement, and that was kind of like the word that was tossed around.
Yeah, I heard about that.
If you watch the video, the interview with her and Will Smith talking about the entanglement, you can see how Will Smith is so heartbroken. I'm also a huge fan of Will Smith, by the way. So, like you can see, like his eyes are just welling up, and he's trying to crack jokes, and it's like you can tell the man is wounded, you know.
Of course,
you know, but yeah, no, they were never in an open relationship.
They were not in an open marriage? Because I could have sworn that was one of the things that they he wasn't, but she was.
It wasn't swirling around, but they were separated.
Okay.
They were separated for a little bit, and they were trying to date. So I don't know if that would be considered. I guess. I mean,
no, even prior to that, it was. I remember them being like on somewhere saying that they're in an open marriage.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. Yeah, they weren't.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe they were, and now they're changing the narrative. Maybe they weren't, you know, against celebrity couples, right? Like
that's. I'm sorry, but changing the word cheating to entanglement doesn't really change the fact that it's not cheating. It's like,
doesn't change the fact that it hurt someone that you love, right? Like it.
Right. But so did she do this? Did she do this during their separation, or was after?
I think it was during, before, maybe, I don't know. It's the timeline's a little bit messy, so I don't know because
let's be clear, if she was seeing this guy during their separation, then it's technically not cheating.
Yeah, I want to say no, because what happened was, how it was explained was the guy was living with them at the time because he was going through drug situation, and he wanted to, the family wanted to help him, and she started helping him, and he's the same, almost like a couple of years older than her son, Jaden,
which is
like 25 now or 26.
She should not be doing any of that.
Yeah. So, and at that time, like she and Will were still living in the same household. So I don't think, or not, I don't know. We don't know like what the timeline of their separation is. So we don't know. But I mean, as far as I can tell, it seems like, you know, Will is hurt, and, you know, so who knows? Who knows? What's our next story? It was the Fox, the Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes, the Taylor Swift story.
The Netflix You. I think we only did 4.
Yeah. Oh, the Rittenhouse stuff.
Oh,
the court case.
Attention to that.
I only watched some of it
because
Well, I guess there's not much else I can say besides it, because it's a long, like whole story, and it's so political, and it's like intense on both sides. The only thing I can comment on is that last week I was watching, it was Friday right after ours, when I was watching when he took the stand. Because usually when you watch these court cases, like the defendant usually don't take the stand, and a lot of lawyers don't do that, because it's like, well, what if the guy says something and it like incriminates him even more, you know? But the kid, when the shooting happened, but you know, the whole shooting and how like the background of that, right? Like, so last year it was during a riot.
I didn't think during the what?
Oh, last year. So during the riots, this was It was in the Midwest, and so the kid Rittenhouse went out there, and he claims that he was out there to help people and stuff. He had like a medic kit and everything, but he also had like a gun, a shotgun with him to protect himself. And I guess 3 guys. He ended up shooting 2 guys. 2 of them passed away, and 1 got really injured. So last year when it happened, when the story came out, they kind of made the race a little ambiguous. They made it seem like he was the white guy and he shot 3 black men. And so that story started to swirl around. It was like a big thing, right? And it was right before the election as well. So there's this whole like political twist that was happening. And until this court trial started happening, a lot of people were like, wait a minute, the 3 guys that he shot are white, and so people are kind of like confused, and that's when this is really being pushed. But he got on the stand last week, and when it happened, he was 17, so he's 18 now, and he got on the stand and he's kind of like describing the event, like what happened, and there's a lot of footage of little bits and parts of it where I guess he was there. Someone hit him on the head with a skateboard. They were chasing him down. He fell down. They were stomping him on his head. He got scared. He got up. He shot 1 guy, ran off. Another guy came up and he shot another guy. And so it's a lot. And honestly, at this point, the trial is trying to prove if it's self-defense, right? Or is it straight up murder, right? It's very like splitting. It's very nuanced. And I think for me, when I was watching the trial, maybe I'm such a softie. I am such a softie for people and emotions, and that's the reason why I could probably easily be tricked. But he was just crying when he was just like, he couldn't even talk when he was describing the whole instance and stuff, and you could, and to me it seems like he was scared. To me it seems like, he really has some remorse and whatever the chaos is. And at the end of the day, like, if he's guilty, right, if he's guilty, 2 men passed away and a kid is going to jail for something like this, right? And another man lost his arm, and this kid was just whatever he is. And then now if he's not guilty, then it's just like, well, if he's not guilty and he didn't do all these things, he's still gonna have to live with the rest of his life knowing that he killed 2 people, right? Like, at the end of it, there's no good. It's one of those situations where it's just like, all the players in this stories were there for some kind of intent that was negative, or they were just there at a bad time, bad place situation as well. And I think it's so heated right now because it is very political. And I don't know. I have a soft spot.
It kind of reminds me of like an Uncle Vinny. Oh, My Cousin Vinny movie.
My Cousin Vinny movie?
Have you not seen My Cousin Vinny?
No, I've never seen My Cousin Vinny. I want to say I have,
what?
But I don't know why.
Well, yeah. It's sort of like two guys, like Joe Pesci and Marissa, and he is the lawyer who is trying to get his nephew out of jail, but they were at the wrong time, wrong place, and were accused of being the clerk. And so they were tossed in jail. So he was trying to get them out, but it sounded like that. I don't know if the boy is innocent of it. It sounded like at least the time has passed where he has thought a lot about what he's done and definitely remorseful. So in that sense, like, it's not like he would be qualified as, like, a killer in that sense. Maybe it was an accident kind of thing. And I wonder if those things would not pardon, but like lessen his sentence,
Well, and that's what they're trying to debate, if it's like, self-defense or not, right? Because what it is here's the thing though, the 2 guys that he killed, one of them was like a child molester anyway, so I'm kind of like,
okay.
yeah, that's what they've dug up and found
Right.
out.
So
I'm like, okay,
yeah.
that's one less, but again,
One less bad human on Earth.
yeah, yeah. So I guess like for me, it's one of those things where like, okay, the story first came out, they tried to make it seem like he's this teenager who's like a complete white supremacist and was out there getting ready to gun down black people. Like that was kind of like the first headlines that was going out.
I hate when people do that. It's like, is that
Yeah.
really the truth?
Yeah, but now that he's on the stand, he's saying that no, he was there as as a train, like he wanted to help people because he had like a medical kit and stuff, and he also had like a gun vest on, a safety vest on, and all of that stuff too. So there's that story too. The other guy that he shot was also someone in the EMT, but that guy came up to him, held a gun to his face, and that's what came out in the trial, was just like, wait a minute, you didn't tell us the first time that you had a gun and you pointed at him. So the fact that you pointed a gun at him and he shot you, that is actually self-defense, right? But the guy who said that, well, the reason why I pointed a gun at him was because I was out here helping someone else, and then I heard a gunshot, and then I heard someone is gunning someone down, and so when I chased after him to help out, at that point, he didn't know if that kid was just running around gunning people down or if that kid was just running away from people. Like, that's his side of the story as well. And all I gotta say is, all of it is messy. When you put people in a space of danger, how do you know who's the enemy or not? Like, unless someone is,
because it's one of those like, yeah, you're trying to protect yourself or you're trying to like get away from the situation.
Well, like, in war, right? Like we have different uniforms, so you know who's the enemy or not. When you're talking about riots, people are showing up in t-shirts and stuff. So you don't know, like the guy who said that, oh, I was chasing him down and all I heard was that there's someone gunning someone down. And like in his mind was just like, I'm gonna take him down because he had a weapon. And then the kid was just like, no, he pointed the gun at me and I got scared. So I shot him. Like, it's messy, right? And that is the reason why civilians shouldn't involve themselves in this kind of stuff, but that's the thing.
I agree.
I think,
and why guns should not be in civilians' hands. So
and here we are there, and that's what happened. And that's the thing, I think for me now, like I remember a couple of years the Women's March, and I wasn't like going out there marching or anything, and someone actually like messaged me and told me that they're disappointed in me for not being a part of that. And I was just like, I just had a baby. The last thing I wanted to do was, as much as I want to support the feminist movement, don't get me wrong, feminists, right? I was not in a place where I felt like it was safe for me to be out there. And I'm sorry that I can't march when I don't feel safe. And I'm sorry that that is a very selfish act on my part. I think that I can make positive changes without actually having to march. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to what you do on your daily basis, right? Volunteering, donating, community service, showing up to schools, events, being a good role model to kids, right? Going out to march for one day, that might possibly end up me losing my life or me doing something that could end someone else's life because I wanted to protect myself. It's not a risk I want to put myself in. And now that we're seeing more of these riots, I think marching is no longer productive. It's just creating more harm.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, I've been to maybe 2 or 3 marches in my lifetime, and have I see any results that come from it? Not huge. I know that they're around to make a point. It's almost like, is anyone paying attention still? You know what I mean?
And it's because there's too many now too, right? Like I think marching works back in like the 60s and the 70s when there wasn't social media, when the media was really like taken over by the rich, right? Now that we have social media and information that be passed through, I don't know if marching is necessary anymore. I don't know if physically being there and physically probably hurting each other is productive or necessary. I think we can always still have petition. I think calling people, sending out cards, asking them to go out and vote, I think that is more productive than marching, and I get it, looks good, the impact of it looks good, but I don't know, I just don't think it's sticking as much, so
I agree.
but
do
I think
you have something to go to?
Yeah, I do actually. But luckily it's only 5 minutes away. So, all right, everyone, this is this is the end of our stream here. Sorry that we were late, but we will be back in 2 weeks and hopefully on time with no tech difficulties. And we will catch up with you guys then. Please, if you have any other stories that you want to share with us, just let us know, DM us, and we will read up on those stories. Okay. We'll talk to you later. I gotta run. Bye.
Bye.